Wife
at home.
I know you have a wife at home, right?
Yeah.
And you walk, as you walk in, right? Mind your own business.
Yeah.
That could be your sister, could be your business partner, could be your colleague, heck, could be a side chick. When you walked in here, you found me smoking my cigar,
Yep.
listening to jazz,
Yep.
and you walked in and sat over there, mind your own business, right? And number 3.
Go ahead.
If you ask me for a drink, I'll give you a drink. Ask me for a cigar, I give you a cigar. You ask me for a lighter, I'll give you a lighter.
Ask for a phone charge.
I'm smoking that cigar, man. Yeah? And then you ask me for an Uber. Listen, man. Am I the side chick or the lady you came in with? All right, ask Caesar. What's next?
Well, that's pretty much the Ask Caesar moment.
By the way, we have a special guest. We call him Spider-Man. He's behind the scenes. I want to ask Spider-Man a question.
Okay.
Spider-Man, what do you think about in the Black American culture, abroad? When you go abroad, when somebody asks you, I mean, personally, for me, okay, let me rephrase this. When I go abroad and I meet a Black American, I ask them, where you from, man? They say, I'm from Philly.
Ah, yeah.
I'm from Detroit. They never say I'm from America. But
That's a good point.
other Americans, they'll say I'm from America. So I want to ask Spider-Man, why is that? Why is it that Black Americans ask that? They say that. Why is it that Black Americans say I'm from Philly, I'm from Detroit?
Carlton, welcome.
No.
We use code words until we.
Hello.
Yeah.
I just got stuck on Spider-Man, that's all.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Welcome, Carlton.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a
Part of,
podcast as we grow.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'm
Your
feeling,
wisdom is always appreciated, brother.
I'm feeling real grateful to be a part of it.
yeah.
So the question, it's a 2-part answer for me.
Yes, sir.
One is, at the point that you asked me that question, I already assume that you know I'm from America.
Yes, sir.
That's number 1. Number 2 is that a lot of times I think black men sometimes don't associate themselves with being American, as far as, when you're abroad. I just kind of feel like it's about where am I from in America. Not from what, you didn't ask me what country I was from, right? You're not asking me what country I'm from, you're asking me where I'm from, And within America, those are the places where I'm from.
LA.
Right, those are the places where I'm from. Right.
Okay. Because I said, I'm from Chicago. I'm not from America. I'm from Chicago.
Well, I mean, again, I'm assuming that you are, if you're answering me that question, you already understand that I'm from America, because we've had some dialogue.
Yes.
If we've had some dialogue, I mean, most people will know that automatically they know I'm from America. Because the deal is that, for me, it kind of cuts off, okay, so where you from? America. Oh yeah, well, what part of America? It kind of, right. So I just cut right to the chase and just tell you I'm from New York, from Newark, which is where I grew up.
Oh, wow.
Grew up in Newark, New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Any other topic?
On your
I'm gonna let you guys go on for a minute.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna settle in for a second.
Okay, good.
Thank you for that. I'm from Kenya, so that's why I was asking the question, because from my experience, I traveled to Europe, I traveled to Asia, even in Africa, and what Brother Carlton said is true. I never thought about it that way, but from my experience, non-black Americans, they always say, I'm from America. But black Americans, every time they say, I'm from LA, I'm from Chicago. And first of all, Chicago, they say, I'm from Southside.
It means a lot.
And then New York, they say, I'm from the Bronx. I'm from Brooklyn. And then LA, I'm from, you know.
And then let me ask another. Let me expound on that a little bit. And let me ask you, being from Kenya, if somebody was to ask you where you're from, why do you say Kenya as opposed to saying what town you're from in Kenya?
Or that you're
Thank
from
you.
Africa.
Thank you for that. That's a very good question. I will tell you. I say I'm from Kenya, and the reason why I say I'm from Kenya is because, first of all, before I answer this question, as a immigrant from Kenya who's an American citizen now,
Yeah.
all I say is this: I will never put myself in the shoes of black American, because that is not my struggle. I will never put myself in those shoes. That's something I respect, and I want to learn and understand. Now, after that, I've said that, from my opinion and my learning and understanding,
Right.
and if I'm wrong, I'm with 3 black American brothers here.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like black Americans, the reason why they say I'm not from America, because they never felt like they're Americans. From slavery till today, they felt like this country has never done them right from jump. But I'm from Detroit, I'm from Chicago, I'm from New Jersey, I'm from Newark, I'm from DC. They feel I can identify myself with Chicago or LA, but not America. But if you ask me about Kenya, I'm proud to be Kenyan because I'm from Kenya. I am Kenyan. I can identify myself because I am goddamn Kenyan. And that's my answer to your question.
So I can expand on that. Okay.
Thank you.
So consider America a continent. Let's say America.
It is a continent.
Yeah. It's considered, yes, it's a continent. So each state is a country.
Yes.
And culturally, even Baltimore and DC, very different cultures.
Exactly.
DC has always been like,
LA and Chicago.
you know, DC considered Baltimore Bahamas, and Baltimore isn't necessarily considered a part of the DMV.
Yep.
You know, I'm a Baltimorean, and you know, but I understand.
And most guys think Baltimore is a state. Immigrants. They think Baltimore is a state.
Yeah, so when I'm asked, like, if I'm in Cuba, and when I'm in Cuba, and then I see a Cuban comes up to me, and you know, they can tell you, you know.
You been to Cuba, man?
Many times. But when they come up to me, and they'll say, "Where you from?" I say, "I'm American." And they say, "What part of America?" And then I say, "Yeah," I say, "I'm from Baltimore." And then they said, "Where's that?" I said, "It's near DC." But I remember seeing a dude in Chicago down in Cuba, and it's a magical feeling when we see another brother
Yes.
and another
Abroad.
Abroad.
It's just like a magic feeling. We're like, "What's up, my man? How you doing?" And I was like, "Man, where you from?" He's like, "I'm from Chicago."
Which helps me understand why. When people come to this country from another country, which helps me understand why they kind of congregate with each other.
Yes.
Because there's
another Kenyan. I'm
Right.
like, yo, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wondered that. And I know a lot of people wonder that. You know, why is it that in this country we have a lot of people coming in from other countries,
Right.
and they never seem to want to congregate with people not from their country?
I'm gonna
but they
tell you
always
something,
congregate
man.
with people from
That's
their
a
own
great point you made.
Yeah.
You know where I saw that at? I used to work in the convention part of the Renaissance Hotel, the Marriott.
Okay.
And Renaissance down DC.
I don't like Renaissance because of Michael Irvin, but go ahead.
So that Renaissance actually, in the convention part it's interesting. Convention services is interesting. So you got people that have worked 30 years there, plus
Wow.
20 old heads
Downtown.
there. Yes.
Okay.
From all over the world. They click up with
Right.
people from their own
Right. Exactly.
likeness. You got Asians with Asians, you got Africans with Africans, you got the East Europeans with East Europeans, and they all, you should see it in the cafeteria. It's so hilarious, man.
Together.
And they look out for one another, man.
Now you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
In Cuba,
Yeah.
You feel the same way?
I said, my man.
Yeah, you feel
Wow.
the same way.
Yep. It's just like, man, you here too, man. That's experiences.
Because if you lived in Cuba for 4 or 5 years, going to school or working there, and you met another black American there, that's how we are here in America.
Yeah.
As immigrants.
It's like we made it,
The same
man.
thing.
We here.
Because you see, you go there on vacation for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But if you live there in Cuba for 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
and one day you meet another black American,
Yeah, you like,
who,
man.
who lives there too.
We understand the struggle.
Next thing you know, automatically,
Yeah.
you guys are gonna
Connect
be
culturally.
on your own side.
Culturally,
You don't click on the side.
Yeah, definitely.
Same thing here.
So then we may venture out together
Eventually,
to the country, to other cultures. But
Eventually.
individually, once we meet up with each other,
yes,
it's an automatic bond.
yes,
It is. It is.
yes,
No matter where you're from, no matter what your differences are,
Yep.
it's an automatic bond.
yes.
Yep.
All right, ask Caesar. Anybody? Ask Caesar.
Well, what you want to talk about, Caesar?
It's an open forum.
Well, I wanted to say this. We taking the what I mentioned to you earlier. We're going to have different backgrounds shortly. The weather's getting warmer. We're going to do different shorts of different cigar experiences at different locations. Correct?
Yes.
Caesar? That's what we're going to do.
Yes,
And Caesar, you're well versed in the cigar culture in DC, right?
yes,
You've been to many cigar lounges, right?
yes. And the thing is, I like what you told me last week.
Right.
You told me, and I like that. We should go travel around
Yeah, just like
other minority-owned cigar lounges and share the experiences.
And it would be interesting to see just how many there are
Yeah.
Yes.
in this metropolitan area.
Yeah.
So, Brother Carlton.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him my mic, so you can talk.
Okay. Because I want to have a conversation.
And I want y'all to be able to talk.
So, Brother Carlton,
Yes.
say again what you said, because I don't think we got you on the microphone.
I said it would be interesting when you guys venture out.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to find out how many
Yes,
minority cigar lounges there are in the DMV area.
yes. And what I was going to tell you was, what Brother Jamal was saying was, we should go, instead of doing the same thing every day, we should go venture during the week, share experiences, go share experiences with other minority-owned cigar lounges, and find out, like you said, how many are there out there. And then next podcast, we can come back and give the feedback and say, you know, we have no idea how many are out there.
Right.
I'm sure even the ladies have some. I think some ladies also have a cigar lounges or even cigar companies and stuff. You know.
Right.
So we gotta support each other, because nobody else supporting us. We gotta support each other instead of clubs in the bar. What do you think about that, Brother Carlton?
I think that's a great idea. I think that there are one of the things that I was thinking about when you said that was I was thinking about the fact that not only should we support each other, but it would just be good information for people to know how black businesses are grown.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean, and
That's a
how
good point.
how we can support each other.
That's a good point.
You know, because we may go to a cigar lounge and there may be an area of support that they need that we may be able to help them with, or we may be able to help them get the resources.
We can help each other.
Right. Exactly.
That's a very good point.
Exactly.
No. So What do you, culture? What do you think in the society right now, in social media setup? What do you think we should do to help us ourselves get better? Like, for example, I've always preached every episode about us guys, our generation, the next generation, the little kids. I keep saying how we should reach out to the young brothers. Now, you may not reach all of them. I might reach out to 10 young black men. I might reach out to 0. Get another 10. If I just get 1, that's progress. If you get 1, that's progress. If it gets 1, that's 3. So that's example I'm giving. Do you have another example how we can help our community get better instead of this crabs in the barrel?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I think that we can, and my background, by the way, is in social work. I was a social worker for 25 years.
Okay.
And my population, the population that I migrated to, that I fell in love with, was dealing with adjudicated adolescents, men,
Oh, wow.
boys.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, family, you hear that?
And one of the things that I found out was that, you know, human behavior is really not different from one individual to the next. So I think that you're not giving yourself enough credit on touching 10 black boys. Because if you touch 10 black boys, then guess what? Those 10 black boys are going to touch somebody else.
It's like a tree.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And if he's touching 10, then
Wow.
that's 20.
Wow.
And then guess what those 20 are going to touch? They're going to touch a few.
Wow.
And those few are going to touch a few. You know, it's just like when you go
That's
somewhere, when you go somewhere to get some help, or when you go somewhere to gain some knowledge, or if you're in a setting where you're gaining knowledge, you may not take it all back, but there's a piece of it that you're going to take back.
Yep.
You're going to get something from it.
Yep.
Yes. So
And that's something that you get from it. You're going to you're going to be motivated to share that with
Yes.
somebody else.
Yep. So one of those kids touch another kid, or another kid,
Right.
Doesn't matter. That
Exactly.
tree,
Exactly.
one person gets touched.
Exactly.
That's
Best
progress.
thing we could do is touch one.
That's progress.
Because if we touch one, then who do kids listen to? They listen to each other.
That's right.
Here.
So they'll touch somebody
Wow.
else. And somebody else will touch somebody else.
Enlightenment.
Exactly.
That's real talk, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that, man.
Yeah. That's
So
real
now,
powerful.
my last question to you. Let's make it fun now. This is my big brother, Carlton. I love him. I've known him for almost 10 years now. And I'm gonna.
Where did y'all originally meet?
Oh, we met over here.
Right here.
How long has Cortez been?
Almost 9 years now.
Okay.
I think it's 9 years now.
Might be somewhere
year.
in there. Somewhere in there.
This year should be 9 years. Cortez cigars. What are you smoking, by the way?
I'm smoking Cortez cigar.
Which what blend?
I'm smoking the Nicaraguan Dominican.
My man, you hear that?
It's a pretty good smoke.
So I have a question for my big brother. What do you think about polygamy?
What do I think about it?
Let me finish. Because I believe one man, one wife, sleep in the same room is a Western cultural phenomenon. But
Really?
yes, it is. It's just,
Please expound.
oh, okay. Okay.
I didn't know that.
All right. Okay, I will expound.
Please.
So, Western culture was one man, one wife. It's a British Empire thing. So, you marry, and then after that, you sleep in the same room and everything. But in the African cultural tradition,
Yeah.
that all of us are from, polygamy was, first of all, polygamy you have to afford. Because in polygamy, your first wife, you get her own house. Second wife, her own spot. Third wife, her own house. Then you have your own house. So that one room, sleeping in the same room, no. You live in your own space, everybody has their own space. It worked just fine. So that's where I'm coming from. By asking Brother Carlton about the polygamy,
You know-
that's what polygamy used to work. Polygamy used to work that way. I think in Utah,
Right.
I think it's the same
You got
thing.
it right.
If I'm not wrong, in Utah,
got it
a man has 2, 3 wives or
Exactly.
4. But I could be wrong. But each wife has their own.
That's it.
They have their own house, right? And the man has his own spot.
Well, you know, it's amazing that you would say that because I had this conversation just earlier today.
Yes, sir.
And you know, I have always been under the assumption that that a part of the struggle between man and woman has a lot to do with women feeling like men need to be faithful. Okay. My philosophy has always been, if you're gonna step out on your wife, then one of the things that you shouldn't have a problem with is her stepping out on you. That's number one. The other thing is that when we talk about just males, let's just say males, and any other, I'm not sure how to phrase this, but you know, and any other animal
This is
kingdom.
black smoke cigars, man. Let's phrase it.
Any other animal kingdom, you know, the male is never has just one wife.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm pardon. Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
That plug